Benvenuto! Welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark, and behind the camera is Wade. Say hi, Wade.
Hi, Wade.
All right, today we're going to make cheddar cheese broccoli soup. I think it was on Thursday. I didn't really feel like cooking, and I think I made Wade a grilled cheese sandwich, and I had a can of, well-known brand name of soup in the blue. It's got a blue wrapper on it, rich and creamy or rich and hearty. Anyway, so I figured I'd open up that and have that for dinner. And you know what? It was good. But as I was eating and thinking, oh wow, this is good, but fresh made is better. So we're going to make our cheddar cheese and broccoli soup. If I remember correctly, this recipe is kind of like a copycat recipe of that famous restaurant. It's got bread in the word of it. I'm sure you all know what I mean. I'm not quite sure how much it really mimics theirs, but I do love their cheddar cheese and broccoli soup. Anyway, so let's quickly go over the ingredients. This is actually a pretty quick recipe. It takes a little bit of time, but easy as pie. So we need some broccoli, guys. All right, so I've got some broccoli florets here. Or buy, you're roughly going to need about a pound. So if you buy whole broccoli, and I'm just cutting off the stem, and then you got your little florets here. You can make those as big or as small as you want. I've got some big ones, some small ones. Those will all start to break up in the as it cooks anyway. All right. So that's our first thing. Of course, I've washed these and dried them off. All right. Then the next thing we need is one large onion. This happens to be a sweet onion. You can use any onion you want, yellow, red, purple, whatever your fancy is. And I'm just going to rough chop that. All right, don't need to be fancy with it. And then we've got 2 cloves of garlic. Again, I'm just going to give that a rough little chop. Easy peasy. All right. Now, this is actually somewhat low carb, all right? Not low fat, but it is a little bit low carb, all right? So then we need some carrots, all right? So you're going to want about roughly three grated carrots, all right? That's just about a cup, all right? And of course our cheese. So I've got some nice sharp cheddar cheese. You could basically use any cheese that melts nicely.
It's a lot of cheese.
It is a lot of cheese. Well, it's broccoli cheese soup. So it does have a big cheese base to it. And we need some chicken broth, okay? So in this recipe, you want chicken broth, not chicken stock. You can use your own homemade chicken stock, but then you're going to flavor it. So remember, the difference between broth and stock is that broth has been cooked with some vegetables and carrots and stuff like that. Stock is usually just the chicken bones and the chicken. And you need so you need 4 cups of that. Of course, all of the measurements will be in the recipe. Then we need 1 quart of half and half. Now, you could use whole milk if you want to cut down on the calories. Maybe even 2%. I've never tried it with 2%. Of course, the half and half just gives it that luxurious mouthfeel and makes it even more delicious. All right. Then we need 1 stick of butter, which is a half a cup of butter. Salt and pepper to taste. All right. If you want to add a little heat to it, you can do a little cayenne pepper. I do add a little bit that. I add a little bit of accent. That's optional. And if you want to add some more heat to it, put some crushed red pepper flakes. Okay. So it all depends upon how hot you like it. All right, so really not that many ingredients. And we need a half cup of flour, which I've also put my a little bit of cayenne pepper in it and a little of the accent. So I've got my pan heating up, and we're going to put in our half a cup or 1 stick of butter, and we're going to let that melt. Depending upon when you're watching this, here in our area, it is soup season. We're a week before Halloween this year. Of course, every year Halloween falls on the same time every year, right? And it's 54 degrees here in our area, so it's chilly, but it's not freezing. I don't know if Wade wants to pan over. The pool got closed up last week, a week ago, last Friday. Oh, no more pool.
Yeah.
Hopefully my window is clean enough for you to look out there. But we still got a lot of cleanup in the yard and get the leaves taken care of, although not even half of them have fallen yet. But I'm just killing time talking. I'll be right back. I just got to get a spoon. All right, so I'm just letting my butter melt. Really, the hardest part of this is sauteing up your veggies. Now, I'm using off-the-block shredded cheddar cheese. If you want to buy a block of cheddar cheese and shred it yourself, by all means do so. I'm even using pre-shredded carrots. Just was trying to make it a little bit easier. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our carrots into our butter. So like I said, this is not low fat. So we want to get those cooking a bit. I'm going to turn my heat up because I had turned it down waiting for you guys to join us. Not that we're live, but I know we keep talking about we'd like to do that one of these days. I don't know, what do you guys think of that? Would you want us to do a live show? And I can't make any promises because that would be up to Wade because he'd be doing most of the work on that. But all right, so we want to get those just cooking a bit. I'm going to turn it even a little bit higher. So really the first two steps is getting your carrots and your onions going. I'm going to take that piece out because that looks really big. And cooking up a little bit. So, and of course we're working with butter here, guys, so you want to make sure you stay somewhat close to it so it doesn't burn. All right, we can add our onions. And we'll give them a little stir. So you want to let these go for about 5 minutes. All right, we just want them to start to get tender because this soup doesn't have a really, really long cooking time once we get everything in. I'm going to just give us a little dash of salt. Like I said, this is kosher salt, so it might look like I'm putting a lot in, but those, what are those granules? They're big. And we'll put a little bit of pepper in. And I'll probably add a little bit more, but salt and pepper is to taste. If you're using a store-bought chicken broth, like I said, this happens to be bone broth chicken. We're not quite sure how salty that is, so I'm not going to add a lot of salt until we get it in there and give it a taste. All right, I'm going to add our garlic and the rest of our onions there. And, in there. And we're just going to let that saute a bit, all right? So that you don't spend the next 5 minutes watching me stir a pot. We'll cut, and I'll clean up a little bit of our mess here, and we'll be back in a bit. All right, guys, I've been standing here diligently stirring this for just about 5 minutes. I have turned my heat down to medium. I had it on medium-high. All right, so then our next step is we're going to put our flour in and get everything coated. The flour will absorb our flour.
The butter will absorb the flour.
Our butter. I'm going to turn that down a little bit more. So you just want to stir that around for a good 30 seconds to a minute. You'll start to smell the smell of the flour, that kind of raw flour smell leave. It might even start to get a little bit of font on the bottom of the pan. Want to show that?
It was just there.
A little bit of brown there. Okay, that's giving us an indication that it's where we want it. So the flour will thicken it a little bit, as well as the cheese is going to. All right, I'm going to turn it back up to medium-high, and we're going to add our chicken stock. Now, if you don't have any chicken stock on hand, but you have everything else and you think, I just feel like having this soup, you could use water and put some chicken bouillon in it. There's 4 cups in this package or this container, which is what we need. So this will easily serve 4 really good eaters. 6, you know, if you're using it as an appetizer or a first course. This would be awesome on Thanksgiving. You could use this as your Thanksgiving soup, or also we have on our channel my recipe for sweet potato bisque, which is delicious for Thanksgiving as well. We can put a link on there. Also, already I've noticed a couple more views on our pearl onions. Again, just depending upon when you watch this video, Thanksgiving is in just a little bit over a month. So if you're looking for stuff to make for your Thanksgiving dinner, we've got a lot of ideas on there. We got the sweet potato soup. I think I've got cornbread stuffing, and not like a baked kind of cornbread stuffing, a cornbread stuffing that I use to stuff the turkey. So it's not necessarily a side dish or something you make on the side. A lot of people think when I say cornbread stuffing, they that kind of southern cornbread stuffing with eggs and all that stuff. No, this is more of just like a bread stuffing made with cornbread. All right, so what we're doing, I'm going to turn that all the way up. What we're waiting for is we're waiting for this to come to a boil. It smells delicious. I mean, the smell of butter and onions and garlic cooking together, what could be better? No, I'm still not going to taste this for the final salt because we got a few more things to put in there. But again, like we all know, a watch pot never boils, so we'll cut for a little bit and I'll bring that to a boil. All right, guys, we've just started to come to a high simmer. Oh, there you go. See, we've got some bubbles coming there. All right, you'll see our soup base has already started to thicken up. And I'm going to turn this down. I've had it on high to bring it to a boil. And we're going to add our broccoli. That's just about a pound of broccoli. And like I said, that's completely up to you, how big of the pieces you want. I like small ones, and then occasionally to get a spoonful with the big one, big piece. Let's get all those little pieces in there. Ooh, it looks delicious. So we want to let that go for about 3-4 minutes. Start the broccoli cooking. And you want to bring it back up to just about a simmer. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. So now I'm on just slightly under medium high. And of course, also it depends upon how well cooked you want your broccoli. In this case, usually I like mushy vegetables. We want it just leave a little bit of texture. You can see, I don't know if you can notice, but the broccoli, look how bright green the broccoli is turned. She went to show it that, and he zoomed in. So look at how pretty that looks. Delicious. All right, and then we can add our quart of half and half Again, if you want, you can reduce it a little bit. But this isn't something we eat all the time, so we're going to enjoy it. Look at that. Luscious. All right, so that we want to bring, I'm going to turn it up slightly, back up to a high medium. And we want to bring that back to a high simmer. All right, so just about the boiling point. And while that happens, your carrots and your broccoli will finish cooking. So that's probably going to take about 3-4 minutes. We'll see you then. Okay, guys, I just wanted to I wanted to show you, I don't know if you can see with the camera, but we've come to a high simmer. Actually been simmering for a few minutes. So you don't necessarily want big, gigantic rolling bubbles, but you want it bubbling. All right, so then how long you simmer it for really is going to depend upon how al dente you want your broccoli. I've let this simmer for about 5 minutes, and you want to keep in mind, you do want to stand by your pot and stare it occasionally, okay? I've been staring it continuously because you don't want your cream to burn, all right? But that's at just about the point that I like it. It's not soft, it's not firm. All right, so we got our cheese. So we got just roughly about 5 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. I'm going to turn this down. Now, you can use any cheese you want. You could use any good, nice, creamy cheese, or cheese that's going to melt. I should say melty cheese. All right, and then we just want to start to slowly incorporate this. We don't want to do it over high heat, because one, we don't want anything to burn. And the amount of cheese is also going to depend upon how cheesy you want it. This is a sharp cheddar cheese. You can use a mild. Monterey Jack would be good in this. If you want to do it spicy, you could do, what's a spicy? Jack cheese, jalapeno jack cheese. So on low, we just want to stir and incorporate our cheese in. And that will not take long.
It smells so good.
Doesn't it smell good? I'm hungry. This won't take long, so we'll stay with you guys and you can watch me stir it. I can't wait to eat. Yummy. Also, kind of, like I said, the amount of cheese is going to necessarily depend upon how much you want in there, and also how thick it's going to get. Now, this is one of those soups that certainly you can make, well, I wouldn't necessarily say make ahead. You can make it ahead and keep it on low, but this will start to firm up as it cools, so keep that in mind. This is one of those soups that you're going to eat right away. And certainly you can heat it up the next day. It's going to be a little thicker. And even though it's high in fat, calorie-wise, we don't eat this all the time, so it's like a treat. It is low in carbs, though. Well, I don't know how many's in there, so don't hold me to that. All right, I think that's good. I'm going to save that last kind of half a cup of cheese. That looks good to me. And we'll do this final stir in. Look at that. So you want it until it's nice and smooth. I'm going to give it a quick taste. I didn't taste it before because also the cheese is going to make it taste saltier once you get the cheese in. Oh, that is good. I think it's got plenty of salt and a little bit of pepper. but I think the salt level is good. I think the average person that tasted that would think, that's delicious. If they need to add some more salt, leave it on the table. All right, guys, believe it or not, our cheddar cheese broccoli soup is done. All right, wait, we'll take some pretty pictures and we'll plate it up, and it's ready to serve. Well, here we are, the best part of cooking. Yay.
Yep.
And it looks and smells delicious.
It does.
Now this soup with maybe a sandwich or a nice piece of crusty bread, a nice piece of garlic bread, look at that, is delicious. Of course, we've been trying to cut on our carbs a little bit, or I didn't go like that to nudge him. I just was getting comfortable in my chair.
Yeah, right.
But we have been trying to eat a little bit less, go a little lower carbs. So we got some beautiful everything Parmesan little things. I don't know. We've never had them, but all right. Let's dig in and see how our what is this? Cheddar cheese.
Cheddar cheese and broccoli
soup.
Yep.
Something like that. I'll try and make it hot. That's delicious.
That is good.
That is tasty. Even better than the other famous restaurant with the bread name in it, as far as I'm concerned.
Like the broccoli just kind of
It's just
just right in the melts in your mouth. Yep.
Much better. And the ham soup was delicious. It was good, but remember,
This is good. Yep.
I said to you, I don't know if we were sitting in the living room when I was eating my soup, and I said it's good, but anyway.
This is better.
It was delicious. All right, well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed watching us make tonight's our evening meal for tonight. Hopefully, you'll try this recipe and give us lots of likes and so on and so forth.
Imagine having this in a bread bowl.
Oh, yeah. He said that earlier.
Yes.
It would be delicious.
But a lot of calories for us right now.
This shirt we bought in Disney several years ago. It's been, 5-6 years since we last went to Disney. And because I lost a little bit of weight, I was going through my drawers, my closet to give some clothes away. Not because I'm never going to get back into that size again. Anyway, I came across this shirt. I brought it up to him. I said, I said, we must have gotten this at Disney because it's from the Disney store. I said, I don't know why I've never worn it.
Last time we were 2016.
2016 was, well, no, we've been back. Remember we went to see the Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's
But I don't think you bought it then.
But no, I know I didn't buy it then. No, I definitely bought it in 2016. And I put on a little weight, and it was just too tight, so I stopped wearing it. But anyway, can wear it again.
Yeah, good.
Anyway, okay, I'm going to eat.
Thank you guys for watching our video and having supper with us. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Ciao.
Bye.
Get our Halloween napkins. That's delicious.
It is.
Oh, really?